the start was absolutely right. I thought the characters were skillfully sketched to us, skillfully constructed, and I liked the way that you moved the action along in the early stages of the piece. It was swift, it was efficient, and you know, it was no nonsense. You got on with things, and I like that. That's very important in the early stages of the play, to establish that sense of pace and to keep things moving. But I think the real value of it is that it buys you the time to slow things down later on when you need to. And I thought there were one or two occasions when moments could have been given a little more weight and a little more time. And we'll perhaps talk about one or two of those in a moment. But I thought in general, you know, the pace was very well done. The changes of pace also were very well done. When you stepped it up a gear, when the first time the case is on the bed, for example, when all of a sudden there's a big panic, when Edie's stomach pains begin for the first time, again, there's a moment of panic, and the pace it is ramped up, and I thought that was a good decision to do that. I liked the way you moved them around the room. Often moves can look awkward in a space like this, but I think you moved them very well, and you weren't afraid to sit them still when that was required as well, and to leave them there. Because you had Edie down here, it looked fine. It might have seemed, if she hadn't been there, it might have seemed a bit odd to keep them still for so long. But I think on this occasion, it worked pretty well. I thought it was a production that had, you know, that had confidence, and you had the confidence to keep the focus in one place when you needed to do that, and I think that was really good. The toilet door situation, I think, does need a bit of light and shade. It was a bit rushed, a bit frantic for me, and I think there is room for a bit more careful shaping there. I thought the suitcase business was expertly done. I mean, I've read the play, and I hadn't noticed that the suitcase was there until it was pointed out by Harry. I think you just need a little pause or a beat where we register his horror, and then that will allow the audience to jump ahead of the action and think, oh my God, it's on. So him staring at it wide-eyed before he says anything, I think would enhance that little sequence there. Just a moment. And I think that if you just, it's one of those occasions where if you just slow it down a little bit, it will pay you dividends. I think it will pay you back. And I think, you know, there were one or two other occasions where you need to seek out those moments where you can just fine-tune that pace. The holding of a look here, right at the end, for example, there's a moment where I think you should hold the look between them rather longer. When he, there's another moment as well when she questions him about when they talk about the Valentine, for example, later on, and he finally says sorry. He's going off out, and then he says sorry. I think there's a moment again for fine tuning. I think, you know, the rush to her arms was a bit too quick, a bit too sudden, and I think that needs working on. I would say he needs to look at her. We need to see him beginning to break down. You need to say sorry and then go to her. It needs work in the rehearsal room, but I think you'll find that it will again take things up another level. I loved the touching and funny exchange about the whole business of sex. I thought that was terrifically well done. I thought it was very good indeed, and it's in big contrast to the following scene about that they have about the Valentine's card. I think that the other thing to mention is that all this is framed, if you like, by Edie's memories of it. And I have seen productions of this where they become intrusive, actually. You're so wrapped up in the story of the young couple that Edie's memory